right, let's see. He told me to repent. I said, fuck your little 2 cents. I don't need that. I'm a drill sergeant. Stepping. Yeah. Coming through, respect and demanded. Yeah. Get slapped with the shit like upper handed. But, man, I keep grinding like a bandit. And I know that you can't stand it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm rocking chucks. Yeah. And I'm ready to buck. Yeah. Revelations 13:10, ooh. Told me to repent for my sins, ooh. You trying to make sense of something spiritual like the Bible, especially when you don't have the Holy Spirit. Ooh. Deep conversation to start this new stream with, so let's contemplate in. And how can I be spiritual if I ain't got the Holy Spirit? Let's take this to another level. No, you won't really want to hear it, but you ain't got no soul and you ain't got no spirit. That shit is all man-made. Ooh, yo, that shit is all man-made, yo. I'm loving this beat though. It's nice. I want to talk to you. Let me just add this to my Joan real quick. Add the beat. Boom. All right, Revelations. Man-made, yeah, all that shit man-made, man. You talking about you got a spirit and a soul and all that shit, man. Ain't no such thing as a spirit, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Not in the real sense, maybe in a colloquial sense, in a metaphorically speaking. But literally speaking, I don't really think so. You know what I'm saying? It's just but then you want to say, like, how can your little human brain even try to make sense of the Bible and all this shit, man? How can your brain make sense of the Bible then? Huh? How can you thoroughly understand the mind of God? It seems like religious people swear down they know what God thinks and what God wants and how God feels and what God's actions are. And all you have, the Holy Spirit. What Holy Spirit? That's another way. The Holy Spirit in itself lets you know that the Bible is corrupt from its inception, because it says the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You can't get shit from that. You can't get nothing from that. You gotta have a balance for anything. Everything is polarized. Everything has a duality to it. So if you have a Father, a Son, and a Holy Spirit, you're completely eliminating the feminine energy, the feminine quality, and the feminine aspects of everything. So, in just the conception of your Bible, starting out with a Holy Trinity that does not include the female is a totally misogynistic, masculine dominated way of thinking. If God tells you all that in the Bible, then how can you tell me that I can't understand it if it's there in the Bible? The Bible is has been edited to fit any outcome you want it to say. If you want to dominate your slaves and keep your slaves ignorant and subjugated, you can use the Bible. And the Bible will tell you exactly how to manifest a slave mentality. Or if you want to be some spiritual enlightened guru who spreads peace, love, and prosperity, the Bible can do that for you as well. It don't matter what outcome you want. The Bible is formatted in a way that you can come to almost any kind of conclusion you want. Woman ain't nothing but a carrier. Misogynistic is man-made, like the Bible. And the woman ain't nothing but the carrier. Okay, so if the woman isn't anything but the carrier, why did God make man first? If God made man first and woman is the womb of man, if the woman came from the womb of man, then all man should be carriers and all man should put forth life. But we don't. It's the female who does that part. But somehow the Bible tells you that the man came first and then the woman came. But in nature, we understand that the women put forth life, not the man. Your Bible is so weird, yo. Boozy. What a doozy. But hey man, to each their own. If I just don't see how these myths and legends, stories, poems, allegories can still persist for so long. It is a really weird thing. Religion, especially religions that are based on the Abrahamic scriptures. Like, people wholeheartedly believe in these things all the way from Genesis to Revelations. There are no biblical prophecies that are playing out today. There are no biblical prophecies that have any meaning to it. All biblical prophecies are fucking vague and obtuse and offer no real prophecy. They don't give names, dates, locations, any of that shit. Oh, there will be uh, a dragon with 7 heads, and a kingdom will fall and a kingdom will rise, and on the breastplate it was gold and metal. Like, that shit don't, what the fuck kind of prophecy is that? That shit can mean any fucking thing. It's like the babblings of a madman that offer no real specific prophecies anywhere at all. How do you explain biblical prophecies? I don't know what biblical prophecies are actually being executed right now. None. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do. It just hurt me so much inside, and I cried. And I heard the angels say that everything would be okay. Yeah. She gave birth to my mother, but she raised me like a son. Cause mommy ran the streets all night having fun. She took us out of foster care when nobody else cared. Family turned their backs and gave her all kind of stares. 55 years old, trying to raise 3 grands. Cause she lived by the book, looking forward to the promised land. Genesis to Revelation, she can preach it to you. On her faith mission pulpit, she'll preach it to you. Show me tough love and raise me like a man. Never spread the rod and try to help me understand that life is too short to stay with childish ways. And now that I look back, my childhood was great. My grandma got sick and she slowly passed away. And like a man, never spread the rod by the book, looking forward to the promise. All kind of stairs. Yo, I said, she took us out of foster care when nobody else cared. Family turned their backs and gave her all kind of stares. 55 years old, trying to raise 3 grands. Cause she lived by the book, looking forward to the promised land. Genesis to Revelation, she can teach it to you. On her faith mission pulpit, she'll preach it to you. Show me tough love and raise me like a man. Never spared the rod and try to help me understand. I grew up in the church, bro. My grandmother was a Christian preacher. She started her own church when I was a young boy. I never missed church, bro. I never missed anything about church. I lived with my grandmother. She raised me. She was a preacher at her own church. Bro, I know more of the Bible than you know, nigga. I done been to more church services. I done heard more interpretations of more passages from different pastors than you ever have, bro. I grew up. I'm from South Carolina, deep in the Bible Belt. I lived this whole life. Bruh, anybody can say anything. Whoa, that's really specific. Wars and rumors of wars. You know how long people have been going to war? Since the inception of America in 1776. How many wars has America been in? There's always wars and rumors of wars since the fucking Hyksos and fucking the Persians invaded Africa. Since motherfucking Genghis Khan. since the Byzantine Empire, the Ottomans. There's always been wars. Jerusalem. There's always been wars and rumors of wars. This is not some kind of prediction. Earthquakes. Yeah. How many earthquakes have happened since the Bible? It prophesies what? Animal extinction. We've been doing that for fucking ever. And then that's something else. Animal extinction. Oh, the animals are dying off. According to the Bible, you know what I'm saying? It ain't had half the animals on the Bible anyway. 90% of all animal life that has ever existed is now extinct. 90% of animal life that has ever existed is extinct. These are not any kind of grandiose, futuristic, circumvented knowledge and foresight. It's not. I can say the same thing. I can say, motherfucking, the way we travel will dramatically change. So vague, so ambiguous. We will find new life forms. There will be a woman president of the United States. Motherfuckers can predict anything. All that shit I just said will happen soon. One day that shit'll happen. It don't matter what you call yourself, bro. If you a Asianic, original Asianic black man, a Hebrew Israelite, all that shit don't matter because you still following the same doctrines. You're following the same doctrines. Oh, I'm not a Christian. That's the slave mentality. But you reading from the same fucking scriptures, bro. Oh, cause I understand that I'm a part of the original nation. There is no proof that all the 12 tribes, Israel, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Prove it. How? Like I showed you last time, bro. I may look kind of young, man. My age is starting to wear down on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 40 years old, bro. I've been doing this since I was 19. You know what I'm saying? Since I was 19. The internet came out 1996. It took people several years to actually get to the point where it's commonplace. Everybody has the internet now. We have the internet. You know what I'm saying? But when I was younger, I'm born before the internet, homie. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I did a lot of reading back in the day. You know what I'm saying? All these internet searches and stuff. I actually read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And read other stuff, bro. Like, I don't care what you call yourself. It all goes back to these same goddamn things, yo. The physical appearance of the Israelites. Man, these documentaries 10, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're curses. I done studied all of this stuff, bro. I even see, and I'll put you up on something. Horace Butler, When Rocks Cry Out. This is written by a black dude. It's a book that you read. You're not gonna find all this shit online, homie. Read this book. And then you, it is so hard to even explain the research he put in here. Now he still stays with the narrative that the biblical characters actually existed. He transplant the entire Bible story and scenario from northern Africa in the Middle East. He transplants all that to South America and Central America. And he has substantial research and sources. And he has all his sources in here. I mean, we're excited. You know what I'm saying? He gives you citations, all of his research. He's personally traveled to a lot of these places. He has maps. I mean, like old as maps with certain names on this shit, yo. And it's really, really compelling. And you telling me, oh, I'm a I'm a Hebrew Israelite, blah blah. But you ain't never even read no research like this. You stuck in this one mind frame where I can access this limited knowledge and expound upon it. Where you should actually try to access as many avenues of diverse knowledge as you possibly can, bro. It's not that I'm smart to my own determination. It's that there is no proof. I done called myself. This is. I tell you what. Even before my grandmother raised me in a Southern Baptist Christian church, like I said, she took us out of foster care when nobody else cared. You know what? When I was in foster care as a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, my foster parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses. That was my first understanding of a religious concept was Jehovah and the Kingdom Hall. No holidays because they're pagan. At least the witnesses do understand the origins of holidays, and all of them are pagan. Um, but yeah, that was my first indoctrination was the faith of the witness, and then my grandmother adopted us into our blood family, and they were Southern Baptists. And then when I went to high school, well, actually in middle school, I met one of my homeboys, still friends to this day. His whole family Muslims, and I asked what made me ask, cause 5 motherfucking brothers, all of them got strong ass names, but all of them got their middle name is Ali. Shaquille Ali, Oyama Ali, Shaquan Ali, Taboo Ali, um, damn, what's that other brother name? Yo, the other nigga, his middle name, Ali. I'm like, yo, wow, y'all got the same middle name, yo. And these names, strong, powerful ass names. You know what I'm saying? Taboo, Oyama, Shaquan. And so at a young age, that shit ain't never made no sense to me because my foster parents were so loving and so generous that they wanted to accept needy children into their home and take care of them. They were good people and they were witnesses. And my grandmother wanted to raise us and nurture us in a blood family. And she was a good woman and she was a Christian. And my homeboys, terrific people, and they Muslims. Trump is over Manitoba. More than likely, it's probably HARP. HARRP stands for Highly Active Aurora Research Program. They use ultra low frequency radio waves to stimulate the ionosphere to induce certain weather conditions, and sometimes it will sound like a horn or some type of wind instrument playing, and the sound seems to originate from everywhere. It's coming from the sky. There's research, bro. Research. Look into shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers hate saying I don't know. Oh, there's a sound of horns and trumpets coming from the sky. What's making that sound? Must be the end times. Or you could say, I don't know what's making that sound. That's odd. Let me try to figure this out. Where the fuck is this sound coming from? Yeah, it can be very loud. It can be very loud. Um, they're doing weird stuff with our atmosphere, bro. Everything from Project Bluebeam to Project Aerosol to Project HARP. All of these different atmospheric uh, weather programs working in tandem with each other is doing some weird shit to our planet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything is done by a man, though. Man, these motherfuckers in control, they don't give a fuck about fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying? They gonna do what they gonna do. Uh, so yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all he is. Yeah, basically, Santa's the same thing. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Jesus Christ is coming to town. That's same shit, yo. Same fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Chris Kringle or Saint Nicholas, whatever you want to call him, Santa Claus, Santy Claus. You know what I'm saying? Come down your chimney. Tiptoe through the house and eat your milk and cookies. It's the shit people believe. And then you teach that to your kids and the Easter Bunny and fucking the Tooth Fairy, all these other lies, and they're just used to believing nonsense. Is it really though? Because when you even in the New Testament, you know what I'm saying, like the guy gambling with the devil, making bets on motherfuckers' lives and shit. Break that shit down into normal terms. If you and your homeboys did the same shit, would that shit be moral? Will it be a good guide to life? You got Satan with his own army. Like, why does he have an army? You know what I'm saying? This shit is the Bible is weird. The whole thing is weird. Is there some good stories in there? Yeah. But even you know what I'm saying, goddamn Jesus trying to drive the money changers out the church cuz they was charging motherfuckers a half shekel to get in there, but he still say, goddamn all these tithes and offerings and shit. For what though? I thought you said the spirit will be at wherever you gathered at. You know what I'm saying? Now all these churches non-profit, non-taxable and all this shit, man. That's what you can do, man. Do the right thing. I say, especially in the Old Testament, they so much immoral shit in the Old Testament that just is fucking ridiculous. And that's why people only like the New Testament, because it's two different gods. It's not the same. The God in the Old Testament don't act like the God in the New Testament, yo. And the God in the New Testament, almost absent as shit. It's just Jesus. And then Jesus disappeared for like how long? Motherfucker disappeared from, he was like 12. He killed somebody. Young boy Jesus then killed the motherfucker. Brought his ass back. Like, nigga, watch out. Make me fucking kill you again, bitch. You don't like being dead, do you? And then his ass disappeared. He come back like 30-something years old. Where the fuck you was at, Jesus? That when the Jehovah's Witness say he was in the new world teaching the Indians. Yo, this shit is so fucking funny. The whole shit, man. The whole shit funny as hell, yo. And then he come back just to be the sacrificial lamb. You know what I'm saying? Work some miracles and shit real quick. Have a little sermon on the mount. Break bread. Feed 100 people. Walk on water. I say everything in the Bible, we know that shit can't happen. We just know. We just know it can't happen in real life. But motherfuckers say, oh, it did happen in real life. One time. A long time ago. A long time ago. That shit happened. But it can't happen no more. Cause shit different now. Yeah. You watch that movie Prometheus, and the opening scene is basically genetic panspermia. Or what looks like helicopters and planes. At least that's what they appear to be. Some people say that the fascia of the glyphs are chipped and breaking off, and the broken portions is what give the appearance of these flying craft. But then we have in NASCAR, South America, where they have the NASCAR lines. You can only see those from the sky. You know what I'm saying? Those shits are thousands of years old. The only thing is, when you farmer, when you really study dynastic Egypt, they ain't built a lot of that shit. They ain't built none of that shit, really. What the people we consider to be Egyptians, we already know those aren't the original inhabitants of northern Africa, for one. For two, Robert Schoch is a geologist from North America, studied the Sphinx, and realized that the erosion patterns on the Sphinx enclosure is due to torrential downpours, water erosion, not wind and sand. The Sphinx was old and eroded before the Giza Plateau was a desert. That puts this structure back at least 10,000 years. Egyptologists, which is weird because Egypt is the only culture, well, ancient Egypt is the only culture that has an ology. We don't have Native American ology, European ology, um, Asian ology, but there is a fucking Egyptology. Think about that one for one. So every time you think you're studying Egypt, ask yourself, why is there an ology to Egypt? And even the Egyptologists say that, oh, dynastic Egypt started 4,500, 5,000 years ago. You know, somewhere between there. No longer than 5,000 years ago. But these structures are 10,000 years old, at least twice the age of the Egyptian dynasties. So is the entire Giza Plateau, the pyramids and everything. The shit is old. The pyramid documentary. Never take it to aliens, bro. And it's not just the Sphinx. There's um the two giant sentinels that stand. Almost any face in Egypt is completely symmetrical. All the way down to the sarcophagi, the gold sarcophagi, or it wasn't done by hand. It was machined some type of way. And once again, that's not even dynastic Egypt. The obelisk and all that shit is way older, bro. Way older. So when you look at the intricate craftsmanship of the obelisk, the temples, the sarcophagi, and everything, and see how finely these things were crafted. And then in many areas you have a really rudimentary and crude carving and engraving of text and script that, yo, Army, not really. Not even really, bro. Look up, I'll tell you what you do real quick, boss. Look up the unfinished obelisk. The unfinished obelisk. Now, I can look it up and let you hear it, but I don't. You can find a 2 or 3 minute YouTube video on it. The unfinished obelisk, and you look at that structure, and then you look at the way that it was being constructed, and it's not some 3D printing. It's something else. We just don't know what the fuck it was. The unfinished obelisk. Look that shit up and just look at it. And then look up the stone of the pregnant woman. The stone of the pregnant woman. Brian Foster. Bruh. He my man. That's my motherfucking go-to. Cause he goes there and shows you high ancient technology. He shows you in Pumapunku where the megalithic structures, these stones, and then the Inca buildings. And you can see a dramatic difference in the structures. The Inca were magnificent builders, but they moved into a territory that was already built by somebody masterful. The same thing the Egyptians did. The Egyptians moved in to the Giza Plateau. They didn't build that shit. There was a global society, a global civilization that existed, and their stone construction, they just knew how to build with this shit. What up, what up? Shh, don't tell the massacre. Everybody think they know. Oh, the Egyptians built the pyramids. No, they didn't. Brian Foster, Robert Shaw, and Robert Brevall. Check out some Robert Brevall. What is it? Not Genesis Revisited. It's it might be Robert Brevall. He'll tell you too, yo. The whole thing. Motherfuckers think the pyramid sitting on fucking sand just on the land. Before the pyramid was even built, the whole fucking plateau was laid out with giant fucking stone. It was a nice flat fucking stone surface, yo. That this shit is, when you really start looking at people who go there and show you this, show you like the real shit, the real, not some Netflix that's produced and got all this money behind it and all this other shit, man. You gotta find motherfuckers who know what they doing, who ain't gonna goddamn fluff that shit up. Chariots of the Gods was written by Eric von Daniken. Eric von Daniken wrote Chariots of the Gods, and his main question was, how did they do it and why? He really doesn't give a lot of, oh, it was this way and it was that way. He just asks a lot of questions. But the only thing with Eric is he comes to the conclusion that it was ancient aliens from another solar system or some shit like that. Yeah, Mars, the face on Mars. I really think that man built all these structures. I subscribed to the ancient alien theory for a long time, and I think those stories and myths are just stories and myths. A lot of people think that. Well, the Anunnaki story says that King Anu sent out his astronauts, his search team led by his two sons, well, his two children, Enlil and Enki. They came to our solar system, went to Mars, kind of fucked that shit up. Came to Earth, started working here. They was like, you tired of doing this shit, so they decided to create the Adamu, using the genetic structure of goddamn Homo sapien, which eventually made mankind, and then the Anunnaki left and just left us here. So um, that may be true because once again, who knows where life really came from? I mean, we try to trace it back to abiogenesis, but once again, was it really, non-organic material forming into simple cells in some prehistoric lightning soup or something like that? Or was genetic material carried here from meteorites, comets, and other shit, or was it purposely seeded, or, you know, there's so many theories. I really do think that life just kind of evolved naturally, in a naturalistic sense here on Earth, and mankind just has a longer history than we can remember. Graham Hancock and a couple other people say that there was an incident known as the Younger Dryas, which was basically a extinction level event that set us back to the fucking Stone Age. But prior to that, we were at a level of civilization that we are kind of at now. A very, very advanced civilization. It was fucking wiped out. And I think that still was man. You know what I'm saying? It was still humans. Homo sapiens sapiens. Not really. Our planet just happens to be in the fucking Goldilocks zone. You know what I'm saying? For the size of our star and the circumference of our planet, the distance from the star, the tilt. Motherfuckers just lucky, yo. You know what I'm saying? Shit just happened. Shit just, you know what I'm saying? All the right circumstances for us to be here. Is this shit made for us? I don't really think so. Is the planet made for us? All this shit made just for humans? Nah. It just so happened that we're fucking here. It's nowhere near the end, bro. It's nowhere near the end. This planet won't end until our fucking star dies. The sun is only at half his life, bro. As long as that sun is there and this planet is in the same spot, yo, we'll blow ourselves the fuck up, or starve ourselves, or fucking pollute the waters where we can't drink it and all that shit, or some germ or bacteria take everybody out. Man, this planet will patch itself up, and the ecosystem will go right back to normal, and shit'll be all right. We can't. You can't destroy this planet. We can make it inhabitable for us. It won't be sufficient for human life, but the planet itself, that shit'll patch right back up soon as we the fuck gone, with no problem. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what we do to this shit, bruh. If we wipe all humans out, 1,000 years, a couple thousand years after that shit, the planet will be right back like it was, green and lush and blue skies, and that shit filter out all that bullshit and take that shit over, yo. This planet will fucking be alright. Like I said, it just may not be habitable for us. Shit. A couple thousand years, you won't even notice a damn difference. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Fucking major asteroid impact. Fucked everything up. Nuclear winter for decades. Nothing. Changing the whole ecosystem, the climate, everything. Fuck shit up. Once again, 90% of the animals dead. Dead. Couple thousand years later, planet just fine. No problems. It's okay. Y'all want to go to nuclear war and blow this shit up and all that shit? Goddamn, and radiation and toxic, all that shit. Go ahead and do it. A couple thousand years later, just fine. It'll be alright. Earth will be okay. We don't have any kind of weapon with enough energy to just fucking tear the planet apart, like from the core, and just split this bitch open. That shit, you can't do that. The surface of the planet, y'all can do all that shit, man, all y'all want, man. Y'all ain't doing shit. Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, they did some what is it called when ground penetrating sonar. They did that shit like in the early 90s around the Sphinx, and realized that there was a chamber underneath the right paw of the Sphinx, and there is an entry in the Sphinx right in the top of the fucking head. That's why you don't hardly see a lot of pictures of that shit from the top, yo. But and so once they finally decided to go inside the Sphinx itself, I don't know if you can find pictures of that shit anymore, but they had like a quarantine area. That shit was blocked off for tourists for a couple years, yo. And they had these tall fences with this green cloth so you can't see in that shit for a couple years. And then they got done with that, and then a couple years after that, they started letting tours and stuff go in there. Of course, you go in there and it's like, oh, it's empty. It's just a chamber. Yes, it's an empty chamber now. They didn't have 5-6 years to take whatever the fuck out this bitch that was in here. The last motherfucking library that Alexander the Greek couldn't burn up or some crazy shit was in there. You know what I'm saying? All the fucking Ethiopian manuscripts and all that shit was up in there. They got that. Some of the last ancient writings ever was probably in that bitch, yo. Probably take that shit right to the Vatican. Oh yeah. You need to check it out, man. There's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. It's strange. This giant cavern, this giant tomb, nothing in it. Like I say, man, all that you can look into Egyptology all you want. You ain't gonna get the answers, bro. You gotta listen to other people and read other shit, yo. Never in your life. Now the world will end before that. They will split this planet in half with the Hadron Collider before they let you get up in there. You not looking in that shit. Who the hell you? You want to look in what? Our library. For what? Oh no! You gotta get on the waiting list. You can look. You just gotta get on the list. It's only 14 years long, and then you have to know the exact book or the exact literature you want to read before you go in there. Well, I don't know if it's in there or not, but you better. I don't know what to tell you. You need to tell me exactly what you're gonna go in there and read. Well, how do I know what's in there? Mmm. Tasty. Now, once again, man, I did this shit before I was really up on the internet and watching documentaries and shit like that. But I already figured out myself as a young buck that they something else to them pyramids, yo. And so I did a painting of the pyramids with like an extra planet in the background, but the pyramid is like an energy source. It's a power plant, and it makes fucking energy. So I was trying to explain that shit to people. I ain't had no real facts or references for it, but I don't know, intuitively knew like that just ain't some building. And so then you got your Temple of Solomon here, motherfuckers doing their little rituals and shit. But you know, a city and a pyramids. I'm just saying, man. I already do all this shit, man. And this shit old. This a old. You see how crappy this painting is, man? This is when I first started painting. That's how you know. I've been on this shit for fucking years, man. I've been on this. I've been doing this shit for years. I done been through all the phases. I done thought about all that. And then years later, motherfuckers do research and just confirm my hypothesis and saying, you know what, pyramids probably was some type of power generator, yo. You know what I'm saying? How the fucking chambers set up in that shit, how the goddamn the surface is leveled off, and then you have motherfucking channels, like water channels that flow underneath the entire fucking plateau, yo. Those water channels were used as for some goddamn hydrogen turbines. I don't fucking know, but they would make us power out that bitch some kind of way. I tell you, man, my old shit. That's an old paint. Right? You know what I'm saying? I just try to tell people, man. Yo, read a book. Yo, read a book. Yo, read a book. Look, man, just read a book. I mean, I don't know how much more plainer I can make it to people. When I say you should read some books, hey, I got a couple books in that painting. Maybe you should want to read some of them. Hey, you ever seen this book before? You haven't? The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams? You didn't? Maybe you should read that book. I'm trying to be obvious here. Captain Obvious here. You wanna read the Holy Scriptures, the Bible? That's good too, but don't forget to read the Encyclopedia of Gods, over 2,500 deities. And don't forget to read the Quran or the Meta Nature. You just can't read the Holy Scriptures. You gotta read other shit, and plus read this book. Don't forget to read that one. That is real important. The Destruction of Black Civilization: Great Issues of a Race from 4,500 BC to 2000 AD. You gotta know the history. Don't forget to read the book. Oh man, you seen that? Well, that Malcolm X documentary? No, but I read the book. I read the book. You gotta read books sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's good to watch TV and Netflix and all that shit, man. That's good, man. If you're doing all that, more power to you. Don't hesitate to. I get sleepy when I read. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to do. They want you to fall asleep. They don't want you to get through the book. Scott Adams, God's Debris. Polished to a mirror sheen where you can see a reflection in it. How you polish granite to a mirror shine, and then you got this old raggedy ass chisel with some hieroglyphs in it. It's not the same culture, it's not the same people, it's not the same time period. The older shit is, the better it was. The newer shit is all haphazard and not terrible, but not as good as the ancient stuff. And that's when people go to Egypt. I haven't been, but I want to. I ain't traveling nowhere right now with COVID-19 floating around. Back to the story. Most people go to Egypt and they don't try to distinguish the different eras of building. And they think that, one people built all this. No, there's examples of different cultures who built different things. And the older it is, the bigger and better it is. The older, the bigger, the better. What? Oh my God, I don't know what's going on with this. Alright, we gotta get some painting done. After I skip this commercial, skip it. Alright. Time to paint this picture, yeah. Time to read these scriptures, yeah. Call me anything you want. Long as you start with Mr. like Mr. Painter, Mr. Prince. Mr. Don't hit me, get those fingerprints on your chin when I slap you. Step in, then I gamble like rolling them dice. Something you can't handle, and it's about to be a scandal, yeah. Flip-flops and sandals, yeah. You know I got a handle, oh. That's why I can't stand you just saying a bunch of words. This beat so crazy, I can rhyme so lazy. My eyes looking hazy, I'm blazy, ooh. Niggas going crazy, out here eating food, getting hungry and lazy. This one of the beats, you can just say anything on this shit, yo. Alright, so what we're gonna do is is tone the canvas with some acrylic. I need me some water. Yeah. 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 We might use this one.
Strongest, most advanced family of Silverados, the Silverado family. Get zero.
Yeah. Just zero interest financing for the first 6 months. You know what you're gonna say, man. That's how they get you with that fucking get zero. Ooh, they got some dark trap beats going on right now. Yo, what? Got the move setter. Not the color I thought it was, but too late now. It's on there now. Fuck. big, yo. But kind of fat on the tip. I want to fill it in real quick, though. Boom, 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 boom.
Silverado offers an optional technology package with up to 15 different views,
You know
including one enhanced view that makes your trailer
I don't
appear.
want to see none of them. Not even the enhanced view that makes your trailer appear. You know? What's up with that? Some dark trap music. What the hell, yo? Talk about some religion, yeah. How you living, how you pimping, yeah. Let's talk about some religion, yeah. How you living, how you pimping, hey. This brush is too big, yo.
A lot of the change in our society is hitting
You know what I
rural
want to
communities pretty
change?
hard.
This
We gotta
fucking
know how many
commercial.
people we have and where so the money can flow.
Yeah. I know the census. 2020 census. Everybody let us count. You two illegal immigrants. That's really what we're looking for. They're taking all our tax money. You're living here tax free. Do I sound like a Republican? how many more dark trap beats I can handle. Yeah, I might get a bigger brush for that. Think I need a bigger brush. I ain't playing no fucking games. I'm a trail nigga. I ain't saying no fucking names. I'ma just kill niggas. I ain't playing no fucking games. I'm a trail nigga. I ain't saying no fucking names. I'm just kill niggas. Hey. Oh. Can't draw a straight line to save my life. Lord help me. Jesus, where you at?
This helps generate funds for ambulances, fire departments. It's very important because I would like them to help rural
Yeah, you know, you just want to help. I just want to help people. I just would like to help individuals in need. Might snap, yeah, and I just might snap. You ain't wanna see me black out, and I just might snap. I might flip this canvas in a second. I'm trying to reach all the way down here and whatnot. Okay.
The 2020 census will improve this community by giving us the tools that we need to provide more programs for our students.
Yeah. Whatever you saying, man. Whatever. I believe you. The census is important. I believe you. You don't have to tell me that shit every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. I heard you the last time you said this shit was important. My man only got one style to his beat, but that shit hot though. He's like, I make dark trap beats and dark trap beats only. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy. Just something you can ride and kill, motherfucker. Kill the beat, nigga. Kill the beat. Oh my god. Making some squiggly ass lines, yo. Probably should have took a hit of that meth. Bum 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 bum. That shit hot though. Bum 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 bum.
Inspired. Create the room of your dreams at Raymore and Flanagan. You can explore and experience the looks you want. Find everything online. Feel it firsthand in one of our nearby stores. And furnish your home fast with delivery in
Like my hands was full, yo. Trying to hurry skip this damn commercial. Raymore and Flanagan. Yo, Dark Killer 62. What up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, I heard y'all got that virus. What up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, I heard y'all got that virus. Friends got coronavirus, yeah. That COVID-19 over there, man. You still going to work? All that shit, man. You got masks, man. Masks running out everywhere. Home Depot, Lowe's. Nobody got no mask. Costco, Walmart. They say we all out. Everybody scared to death from the COVID-19. What up? What up? What up? What up? Hey. What up? What up? I heard y'all got that virus. I heard y'all got that virus. I was gonna take a trip, change my mind real quick, cause I ain't wanna get sick. Nah, what up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, I heard y'all got that virus. Was about to take a trip, change my mind real quick. I ain't wanna get sick. What up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, I heard y'all got that virus. I changed my mind real quick. Cause I ain't wanna get sick, nah. And I ain't wanna get sick. I was gonna take a trip, change my mind real quick. I ain't wanna get sick. Hey, I was gonna take a trip, change my mind real quick. I ain't wanna get sick. What up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? What up? Hey, I heard y'all got that virus. I heard y'all got that virus. That COVID-19 is a motherfucking killer. Motherfucking killer. Motherfucking killer.
We all know what it looks like when we work together.
The feeling of making,
Doing.
striving,
Continually.
Mm-hmm. You have to make me a COVID-19 mixtape. All right. Let's let that dry for a minute. That shit hot.
Started early Head Start when he was 18 months. The census is really important as far as allocating resources for Head Start and programs like that.
Yeah, whatever.
So is this stuff really fresh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 2 commercials back to back, yo. Damn. Oh, the light is the glare. I don't know how to get rid of that. Alright, I gotta let that dry for a minute, and then we can tone that, and then we can get back to the other painting that I'm working on. Probably won't get to the other painting tonight. What time is it? I have I think, yeah, I got a staff meeting tomorrow morning. I gotta be to work early in the morning, so probably go to bed a little early tonight.
It's Raymore and Flanagan's President's Day sale. Go online or come in store. Save up to 30% on new furniture. Plus, save big on our best mattress options like Tempur-Pedic, Casper, and Beauty Rest Black at the President's Day sale.
Alright, my bad. I had some messages. So that doesn't take long to dry. As a matter of fact, I have the little space heater on. I could set it right here in front of the heater, but yeah, it's pretty warm in here. It's almost dry to the touch right now. Almost dry to the touch. So we'll throw a layer of paint on there. It's so damn tasty. Woo, that shit is good. All right. My man Revelations left out, yo. Man, Revelations don't be liking to have them conversations with me, man. I be making that motherfucker question himself. It's all good, Revelations. Keep questioning. Talking about a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Motherfucker don't speak the first lick of Hebrew. Oh my God. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Are you really? Like in real life? Like for real? In real life? This motherfucker say he has studied the Bible.
Chevy Silverado offers an optional technology package with up to 15 different views, including...
Man, I can't get over how many commercials they give us. Like every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes we getting a commercial break. can't get over it. Where'd you run off to, Revelations? Man, don't want to talk that shit no more. That's all good, bro. You don't got to talk that shit with me. Yeah. Art in the dark. You know what? I just had a Asian massage. What are you talking about, bro? Shit. Not the massage table. God dang. But hey, herpes is everywhere. Like just like the coronavirus. Watch what you put your mouth on. Don't put it in your mouth. So I'm gonna start taking bets on who catch the coronavirus first. Taking all bets. This motherfucker's stupid. That's special service. Alright, y'all ready for some corona news? Let's get to the scary shit. Southwest. Alright, go check out some coronavirus news real quick. Let's see. This is live.
Secretary. Well, thank you, Mr. Vice President. I just want to first start out by saying how delighted we are that Ambassador Birx is going to be leading, coordinating these efforts across the government. Dr. Birx and I go way back. Dr. Birx and basically every leader at the Department of Health and Human Services go way back together. So we already have established relationships, and maybe not too way back, right? We already have very established, productive working relationships that I think are going to keep the interagency process working incredibly smoothly. And as the Vice President said, Dr. Birx already has been asking the right questions and challenging us on all the right scientific and policy matters that we need to focus on. I just want to begin by recapping the current situation that we face with COVID-19. As the Vice President mentioned, as of this morning, we have 43 confirmed or presumptive cases of the virus in the United States, excluding our repatriated cases. 17 of those cases are travel-related in one way or another. 26 are believed to be person-to-person spread. Because of the president's strong leadership and all of the hard work that our public health professionals have done at the local, the state, the federal level, the immediate risk to any individual American has been and does continue to be low. But the risk for people with possible exposure to identified cases can be high. What every one of our experts and leaders have been saying for more than a month now remains true. The degree of risk has the potential to change quickly, especially if we see sustained spread of the disease around the world, which could qualify this disease as a pandemic. As Dr. Fauci said this morning, we will see more cases of community spread in the United States. As we've emphasized for some time now, we all need to prepare for the potential need. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. In some places, we will have to use the range of our mitigation efforts. In fact, we already are working closely with Santa Clara County and the state of Washington, in particular King County, to assist them in thinking through some of the best practices from our pandemic action plan, as well as learnings from Singapore and Hong Kong around the most effective community mitigation efforts, such as temporary school closures or even more titrated responses Dr. Schuchat has talked to you about, such as having school, but perhaps not having assemblies in school. That's why the president has taken an unprecedented whole-of-government approach to protecting the American people, including the steps in the last few days to radically expand and improve the testing that we have and to improve access to respirators needed by healthcare workers. The Vice President, Dr. Schuchat of the CDC, and I spoke with basically almost every governor that we have this morning, and we greatly appreciate their close cooperation with us. I also wanted to now introduce an individual who I asked the Vice President to join this task force.
I'm letting you know right now.
The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services play such a vital role. $1.3 trillion of spending here in the United States, providing health care to 60 million American seniors. And as we've seen, this disease can have a disproportionate severity impact on the elderly as well as the medically frail. And so Seema Verma, our administrator, has a very important responsibility with regard to funding of care, whether it's therapeutics or vaccines or diagnostics for our senior citizens, but also a vital role that you may not know of in regulating long-term care facilities, such as nursing homes and other healthcare facilities, a very important regulatory function. So I'm delighted that Administrator Verma is formally joining the task force, and let me turn it over to Seema. Seema?
Thank you, Secretary Azar. So for the Trump administration and CMS, patients come first, and the health and the safety and welfare of America's patients and provider workforce is our highest priority. So let me start with what CMS is, and as the Secretary said, we are the nation's largest insurer, covering over 130 million Americans between Medicare, Medicaid, and the individual insurance market. And some of these are our nation's most vulnerable populations, those in poverty, the elderly, and children, and so forth. Critically, we do have a regulatory responsibility for pretty much every healthcare institution in America. This includes facilities such as hospitals, critical access hospitals, nursing homes, home health agencies, dialysis facilities, surgery centers, and the list goes on. And that gives us a very critical role in addressing the coronavirus. We are responsible for enforcing the quality guidelines based in part on information from partner agencies like the CDC. And so let me stress that CMS has long-standing infectious disease policies already in place that we've used effectively for other outbreaks such as influenza. And so healthcare facilities already have these procedures in place and should be prepared for what they may see. And we're going to continue to proactively update our regulations. We're going to be working with CDC. Right now, like I said, those are already in place, and it's our job to make sure that healthcare facilities are effectively implementing those guidelines. And we will work with the CDC to determine whether we need to update or change those. Also, we are looking at what we cover and clarifying the types of products and services that our programs will be able to pay for in terms of Medicaid and Medicare. And with that, I'll turn it over.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you for stepping up. I want to recognize a couple of other members of our team. Tony Fauci, National Institute of Health. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. I just want to make three comments and points. First of all, to underscore what the Vice President and with Secretary Asa said, we had a really extraordinary meeting with the CEOs of a variety of individuals in the pharmaceutical and biotech business, several of whom were in the room were people we were actually already actively collaborating with, and their enthusiasm about getting involved in helping us along with the development of products and the availability of products, be they vaccines, monoclonal antibodies, or therapeutics. It was very gratifying. Second, I'm very pleased that the President and Vice President will be visiting the NIH tomorrow, and we're going to have the opportunity to show them firsthand in real time the kinds of things we were doing. And finally, just one comment about Ambassador Dr. Birx. So a couple of people up here have said, you know, I go back a long time with Dr. Birx. Nobody goes back as long as I go with Ambassador Birx. She was actually a fellow in my program as a trainee. And we knew she was a star then, and now what has happened over the years, she's become a superstar. Together, we saw the first patients with HIV back in the early 80s. We were involved in a vaccine trial. That was the first successful trial with HIV. We've known each other through PEPFAR. I had the privilege and the honor, among others, of putting together the PEPFAR program for President Bush, and she was the ambassador in charge of the PEPFAR program. So I can't tell you how excited I am to finally, once again, get back and being a partner with Debbie Birx.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci. And finally, Dr. Bob Redfield, CDC. Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. What I would like to do is just recognize that CDC continues to work and provide support to really the backbone of our public health system in this nation, which is the state, local, tribal, and territorial health departments. And these teams continue to work to identify new cases, isolate and contact trace these, to work together to try to limit the transmission of the coronavirus. And working with our public health partners, we continue to be able to identify new community cases, as the Secretary said, we always anticipated, and use our public health assets to aggressively, again, confirm those cases, isolate, do contact tracing, to use our public health tools to limit the spread of this virus. I want to echo what was said by the Vice President and the Secretary, that despite seeing these new community cases, that shows you we have a public health community across this country in action, the risk to the American people is low. I also want to add my looking forward, and I know my entire agency is looking forward to the President and the Vice President's and the Secretary's visit to come to Atlanta on Friday and get to meet a lot of the wonderful people that form the backbone of this great agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We'll take a few questions. Steve Holland, Reuters. Where are you, Steve?
Based on what you've seen so far, how quickly do you expect this virus to spread throughout the United States?
Let me refer that to the experts. Go ahead.
About this cluster in Washington State that show us.
I think the important thing, as the Secretary has said, from the beginning, we've anticipated to see community cases pop up. And now we have a number of new community cases, which the health departments are aggressively evaluating to see if they can understand the linkage, who are the contacts, how is this virus spreading. And I think the American public should rest assured we have one of the finest public health programs in the world when you look at the state and local territorial. So we're going to continue to see these cases as a consequence of them doing their job. And we're going to use the public health strategies that we can to limit that transmission. And I think we should focus on that right now. We're still working very hard in trying to contain these community outbreaks. But as the Secretary has said, we are blending that now with very strategic mitigation strategies.
So just to underscore something I said the other day, there are two aspects of this. There's about cases coming in and then controlling the situation of the spread of what's already in here. And there are two things that are going on. It's the kind of restrictions of travel to areas where there are hotspots in the rest of the world, just like the original inhibition of travel here with China, I think is going to mitigate against the question of the wider spread. And the contact tracing and the isolation that's very aggressively going on. I mean, we hope you could never predict 100% of anything, but I think what's going on right now with the CDC and particularly the state and local health authorities is going to really, I think, get us through this.
Steve, it's something I learned along the way, is that when we have cases, state and local health officials are in the lead, but CDC is on the ground, helping to identify how that might have originated with that individual, to find out any other people that they've been exposed to. We know there will be more cases. The President initially took unprecedented action to do all that we could to prevent the coronavirus from coming into the country, and now we're focused on mitigation of the spread as well as treatment of the people that are affected. Kristen Fisher. Kristen Fisher here. She walked out. Let me go with Hallie Jackson.
Thank you. Two questions for you, sir, and anybody else wants to jump in. Number one, President Trump hinted today at the potential for new travel restrictions on top of what we've already seen related to Italy, South Korea, China, Iran. Can you elaborate on specifically what countries you're looking at? Is Germany, for example, which has seen some cases of community spread, is that on the table? And then just a follow-up as well.
The President is very clear. We're going to follow the facts and listen to the experts every step of the way. The action the President authorized this weekend, raising the travel advisory, the American people should know that we are saying that you should not travel to certain sections of Italy or South Korea. Those advisories may expand, but will allow the caseload in those countries to define that. In addition to that, by establishing the screening protocol, which will be in full force and effect within the next 12 hours in both countries, will ensure that anyone traveling on a direct flight to the United States of America receives multiple screenings at all airports in Italy and South Korea. But to your point, the nature of the European Union is one doesn't require a passport to move around, so our task force spoke today about new cases, and there were some in several European countries. We're following that very closely, and again, we'll listen to the experts, we'll watch the cases, and I know the President will make the decisions with regard to both travel advisories or restrictions on the basis of those facts.
And my second question, sir, is just on the word pandemic. Do your experts behind you here, do you consider this now a pandemic in all but designation only?
I would just refer to the experts. That our view is that would be for the World Health Organization to define. And our task force team was in touch with the World Health Organization today. And let me let the Secretary address that. But this isn't so much about semantics. I think our briefing today was we're in more than 60 countries at this point, and so we're going to continue to focus on ensuring that we do all we can to prevent people coming into the country with the disease, to mitigate any spread of the disease once we identify cases, and of course to provide treatment. Did you want to speak to that?
You bet, Mr. Vice President. So I spoke with Dr. Tedros today and Dr. Mike Ryan, the incident manager for the World Health Organization, about this precise question, because wanted to get a sense of their thinking, how they're assessing the designation of pandemic status. And I'll let them fully speak for themselves, but right at the moment, while we're seeing community spreading in multiple regions of the world, there are many definitions that people use around pandemic, and one issue that the WHO is focused on is just sheer magnitude. And while we've had very large numbers of cases and spreading within China, the actual absolute number of cases outside of China, while reflecting community spreading, are not of the magnitude comparable to any other pandemics that have been declared before. For instance, even the H1N1, where you have billions of individuals infected across the world. So that's how they are thinking about this. And we're just going to keep working with them. We don't have a view as to whether they should designate it a pandemic or not a pandemic. I made that very clear. I just wanted to get a sense how they're thinking about it and assessing it, and that's, I think, reflective of their current thinking there. And but I'll let them. I asked them if they could put out some points about how they're assessing this stuff.
That should be good.
Good answer. Hang on. How about Ben with ABC? Where are you, Ben? Go ahead.
Screening passengers from Italy and South Korea, what exactly will that screening look like? Is that people taking temperatures? Is that every single passenger? Who will be conducting it? And will it be expanded to other countries? And then how many tests have been conducted? Last week, I believe Secretary Azar said there were 3,600. What's an update on that?
Well, let me just, our State Department and an interagency group has worked out that arrangement with both Italy and South Korea. South Korea actually about 3 hours ago fully implemented the screening on all direct flights, all airports. And as I mentioned, within the next 12 hours or so, Italy will have implemented the same thing. It will be multiple temperature checks in the airports for people before they are boarding, and we're working very closely to assist them in implementing that. But let me speak about, Dr. Hahn can speak to you about the status of tests, because one of the things I heard from governors last week was the whole issue of test kits, the availability of testing, and I really want to commend Dr. Hahn and the FDA for some very swift work, making it many more tests available, more kits that include multiple tests, and also authorizing.
Our staff meetings are pretty chill though. We have like breakfast afterwards. Make like a big ass breakfast. Last time we had
cases. It will mean our health officials are doing their job.
Yo, somebody made French toast casserole. You ever heard of that shit, yo? I ain't never heard of that shit. French toast casserole for breakfast. And that shit was in a big ass pan. And it's just like, I don't know, it's like French toast, but it's like all combined and shit. I don't know, man. I can't really describe that shit. That shit was delicious, though. Damn. You know what? Now, I think while I eat dinner, I'm gonna look up a recipe for French toast casserole. But anyway, that's what we had for the last breakfast. We had like French toast casserole and a big ass like exotic fruit salad. Man, this shit had mangoes and dragon fruit, all kind of kiwis, all kind of shit was up in there. And what else we had? Some other kind of pastries and like sausage and shit. Yeah, we had a big ass fucking breakfast. But yeah, but we have a quarterly staff meeting. So my whole day tomorrow is gonna be busy because I'm working on our annual report, which is kind of weird. Like, it seems like a pretty big task, and they just handed it to me. And I only been there for a year. Like, I've never done an annual report, but they really just want I have all of our data. You know what I'm saying? I got the data sheet with all the information, everything we accomplished and everything from last year. I just gotta like take the print, all the words, and make that shit look nice and like and a goddamn like a report, like a fucking, I don't know. It's basically like I'm making a magazine out of that shit. But anyway, I've been working on that shit since last week. And I gotta have that shit done by the end of the week. But then tomorrow, I got a staff meeting. Then after the staff meeting, I do a counseling group. It's called Men's Group. And I just counsel like guys coming out of prison and shit. So I had to do that shit right after the meeting. And then, after that, it's lunchtime. So I eat something real quick. And then I can work on the annual report for like maybe an hour or so. Then after that, I gotta go to the after school program. And then do the after school program from 2:30 to 4:30. And then Wednesday morning, I got an appointment for an oil change in the truck. Yeah, I hate these long days. I might just go to bed early. I know I'm gonna need energy tomorrow, yo. I was thinking about going to the gym in the morning, but I might go to bed like 9, 10 o'clock and sleep till motherfucking 6. Sleep till 6, leave at 7. Shit. Y'all be having busy days like that. But it's fun though, like, cause I like doing all different kind of shit. That's the one best thing about my job. Like, I don't do all the same shit all fucking day. That's why I keep telling myself, yo, I don't know, it'd be hard for me to find a better job than this shit, where I just get to do what the fuck I want. Like my counseling group, nobody really tells me how to run that shit. I run my counseling group the way I want to. My after school programs, nobody really tell me how to run that. I do that the way I want to. Like even this annual report, they just said, do you think you can do it? I was like, probably. Or here's the data. Alright. They was like, let us know what you get. I was like, alright. So I kind of showed them a little bit of what I had so far today. They was like, oh, I like it. So, I like my job. Nobody don't be all over my shoulder, fucking micromanaging me and all kind of crazy shit like that. And I get to do a bunch of different stuff, so I really can't complain. Is everything off in here? Nope. The speaker's still on. Alright. Turn the speaker off, the laptop is off, the heater is off. Alright, I don't know if I should play the game or read a little bit more of this book. I might actually read some book for a minute. Haven't played the game in a couple days though. Getting a little gamer itch going on. But now I'm burnt out on all the games I've been playing. I played Apex Legends for so long. Don't want to play that no more. I was on that Titanfall extra hard for a couple months. I don't really play that shit no more. I got that Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They say they were gonna do like an overhaul to that game or something, but they pushed it back until like the springtime or the fall time or something. So I don't know if I even want to play that shit no more. I need a good fucking, I don't know, like an action game. I want a story-driven action game. That's why I can't wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out, yo. The Last of Us Part 2. Anyway, appreciate y'all chilling with me in the studio. Catch you next time.